Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Hope that you're having a fantastic one out there. Hope that the sun is shining down on you in a beautiful way as today we dive into Orlande de Lassus. That's who we're going to be checking out today. We're going to listen to this piece, this performance, this track, Deficiat in dolore, vita mea. Hopefully I practiced right before pressing the video. We're listening to this because it was suggested and sponsored by Sylvain. Sylvain, thank you so much for the suggestion. Thank you so much for the request as well. I truly appreciate that. You said that he was the most famous composer of his time, that he has a very varied and diverse body of work. Let's see. So he took influences from all over, integrating into his own style, making him a true pan-European composer, switching fluently from French to Italian to German. And perhaps his most characteristic feature is the chromaticism he uses for his expression. I'm very excited to dive into this particular piece. Hope that you guys are doing well. I also pulled up his Wikipedia page as well. Chief representative of the mature polyphonic style in the Franco-Flemish school. I have a question for you. I'm going to put you guys up here in just a second. I know I made a post about this over on the YouTube channel, but in the post areas. Have you guys seen or heard of this album? Because, all right, it just looks interesting. Like, everything about it looks interesting. I use RYM quite a bit for, like, finding music and things. And, like, decent reviews. Obviously, I can't listen to any of it on myself because, you know, it's a reaction channel. And so I want to keep this for like, the channel, perhaps. I was just thinking, because it just seemed like it was interesting. I don't know. It just kind of caught my attention. I was just exploring some of the charts on RYM and caught my attention. I didn't know if any of you guys had maybe heard it or had any experience with it. And I'm just curious on thoughts and if it's maybe an album I should dive into. But let's go ahead and listen to this performance for right now. We'll discuss it a little bit after from the Brabants Ensemble and Stephen Rice. Here we go. I'm so close to tossing that onto a playlist. Incredibly vibrant harmonies between the singers, and like I feel like sometimes I say the same things for a lot of this music, but it gives me the same feeling. So, what can I say? It's incredibly and so perfectly harmonic that it's just gorgeous to listen to. I like how I don't know, perhaps the lead female vocalist or just one of the vocalists there. I like how her voice at certain moments elevates just a little bit beyond the rest of them, and it hits that higher note, and it almost touches the top of the cathedral of which I hear this music being played. It touches it with just one finger, and then delicately comes back into the sea with the rest of the voices. And at the same time, some of the voices, especially it sounds like the male choir or one of the voices, will go down underneath, perhaps dive into the where the tombs are, or in that way touch one finger down there and then come back up. Perhaps you could even acting as an angel bringing and lifting someone from the grave up to heaven, and like it just has this beautiful graceful movement about it in the way that it goes up and down. And I think that is perhaps the strongest part, because structurally there's not like any crazy changes or anything. It's a very even piece that we've listened to, but it's just those ups and downs in the music that give it a kind of, I guess, literally a vertical and a verticality movement to how it's performed. But it's so clearly performed and sung and just kind of heart-wringing. Like, it's just really gorgeous to listen to. And I had a great time with this. And this is kind of an aside, but I'll relate it. I'll relate it in a way. Yesterday, I had joined a meetup group, and there's a Buddhist temple that's in the area. And I went on a tour with a group of about 20 people or so of the temple. And I don't know anything about Buddhism. I just wanted to learn. I wanted to hear about it and actually like just get out. And I like to go out and like explore things that are completely new to me. Food, culture, all that stuff. That's my thing. I love history, culture, and anything relating to that thing. When we were in Switzerland, many years ago, what we did? We went to museums and art exhibits. Like that's what I like to do. So anyways, we went on this tour and just, learned a little about it and walked through and everything. And it was just such a really beautiful experience, kind of the same way like in Switzerland, going to like the cathedrals. Like I just like that kind of experience. And when we were there, we were in their version of a memorial hall where, people's ashes are kept and, of course, respects to the dead and such as like that. And it was so beautiful there. And one thing that was interesting was at this particular temple, they have music that's playing. It's vocal music, and it's called sutras, if I remember correctly, the music that was playing. And it's just this vocal music that's playing. And the point of it, and the specific words that were being sung and that kind of thing, was basically, in long story short, from what I gathered, was to help the souls of the dead to move on to basically their next step in reincarnation. And the music is just playing over and over. And while it's not, of course, this type of music that we're listening to, it was very similar because it was vocal led, and you could feel that kind of holiness about it and what they were kind of doing there. And it was just really cool to hear, I guess on one hand, an Eastern version of choral music, and then hear something Western. It was just really cool to hear that and to kind of hear that connection in a particular sense. I just thought that was cool. So I get the exact same thing here. It's just a really beautiful melody and harmony to, hit that particular divine connection. I think that this is gorgeous to listen to. When it comes to what's being sung, so Van, you sent me the words here, not too many. My life is spent with grief and my years with sighing, that I may find rest in the day of trouble. A very comforting message and lyric there. I think that this was really fantastic. I really enjoyed listening to this. There's a huge history of music out there. And actually the other day, last week, what I was doing, because I had finished one of the books that I was reading, I ended up reading another book. I just finished it last night. But one of the books, or I was trying to find a book, not a textbook, preferably, but like a book that I could sit down and read about some of like the medieval music. And I came across a few recommendations. I was still kind of going through it and such, just to kind of like fill in some of the outlines of music knowledge, in this particular era, because this is all completely new to me. So actually, it's not even filling in the outlines. It's really sketching out the outlines and then filling it in from there. But I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you had a great time listening to this. This is wonderful to me. I enjoy this a lot, and I hope that you guys do as well. Sylvain, thank you, Gus, of course, for the suggestion, for the support. Hope that you all enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.